these guys, after accusing me of misinformation, are waging war against our old friend Tylenol. That cute little caplet we've known and eaten for years is now public enemy number one. The president and the croakiest Kennedy are telling us not to take Tylenol, which is confusing between the new rules for that and vaccines and who knows what else is next, maybe Flintstones vitamins.
Trump brought Elon Musk to the White House. They bring a Tesla, and Trump's like, I'm buying a Tesla with my own money, and
which nobody believes.
And the man did a full-on infomercial. I'm like, this is the president of the United States.
Yep.
Shilling cars for this low price, one-time offer. You can buy a Tesla if you call now, and for this short-time, limited period.
The latest season of Trump's presidency isn't a drama. It's a sitcom written by accident and directed by chaos. Jimmy Kimmel and Trevor Noah don't even have to sharpen their knives because the material walks out on stage itself. Trump wanted to be the protagonist of history's epic saga, yet he keeps stumbling into roles fit only for blooper reels. Kimmel compares him to a man who orders a steak, burns down the restaurant, then demands applause for saving the cow.
I hear from one very special friend. Moments after we taped our show last night, the Mad Red Hatter wrote, I can't believe ABC Fake News gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. You can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back.
The point is Trump sent out one of his thingies, I don't know what they're called, and it was like, Trevor Noah was never funny, Jon Stewart was only slightly better, and then like he goes on like a rant and he's just like, these people don't realize if they moved more to the center like me, they would have more followers. Then I'm like, center like you? I'm like, my man, you think you're in the...
Trump's genius idea of running the country like a reality show is the gift that keeps on giving. Every press conference feels like the worst audition for America's Got Talent, except the talent is disappearing facts and juggling contradictions. Kimmel seizes on this, describing how the man transforms a briefing into open mic night at a comedy club that nobody asked to attend. Noah doubles down by highlighting how Trump's campaign promises aged worse than unrefrigerated milk. The wall that was supposed to redefine security became the punchline of late-night writers everywhere, not because of opposition, but because of the sheer incompetence of its delivery.
I was at the Ryder Cup over the weekend, which kind of explains this caveman-like behavior. The president has been hard at work coming up with all sorts of nonsense to distract us from the Epstein files, including, I don't know if you saw this, but he made a major announcement. I am ordering my administration to declassify and release all government records related to Amelia Earhart. Her final tip and everything else about her. Thank you for...
What is he going to do when he loses?
Yeah, people act like it's going to...
I'm being for real about this, by the way. Like, I think people take for granted that guy thinks everything is a conspiracy.
Trev, you're smarter than me. Please explain this to people, because I've been trying to tell people this. It's not going to be a peaceful transfer of power. I don't think it's going to be a transfer of power at all. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think Donald Trump does anything normally. I wouldn't be shocked if he just goes like, I'm not...
Then there's Trump's relationship with numbers, which is as unstable as his relationship with advisors. Statistics walk into his speeches only to collapse into incoherent fragments, like confetti thrown by a man who doesn't know what a parade is. Kimmel points out the pattern. Trump announces record-breaking achievements with the confidence of a student who never opened the textbook. Noah elevates the gag, showing how his claims about the economy resemble the exaggerated sales pitch of a guy trying to convince you that his used car isn't missing the engine. Every boast is a balloon, and every fact check is the pin that pops it.
And there's more. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. No, they weren't. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there.
We're right here,
that I can't argue with. Shut the up. The freedom of speech is only for me.
Foreign policy under Trump plays like a parody of diplomacy. He wanted to project power, but it comes out like a teenager flexing in front of a mirror. Kimmel skewers his summit performances, comparing them to awkward family reunions where the one uncle tries too hard to be the center of attention. Noah sharpens the knife, explaining that Trump thinks shaking hands with world leaders is the same as negotiating deals. Instead of strategy, he offers spectacle. Instead of substance, he delivers slogans. In the global arena, he's not the statesman America sends out, he's the comic relief that keeps the audience awake.
Say what you want to say about Eric Adams. He did one thing no other New York City mayor has ever done. He made Bill de Blasio look good. So there's talk that Mayor Adams might become our next ambassador to Saudi Arabia, which that would be good for Trump, finally, and Eric he can be proud of, representing him. As you know, over the last 10 days or so, we've been through quite an ordeal. And by we, I mean Mets fans. We have, yesterday I was wearing my Mets hat, I was wearing my Mets shirt, and wouldn't you know, the Mets went and did the Metsiest thing possible.
Domestic policy isn't any better. Trump promised to drain the swamp, but Noah laughs at the irony. The swamp didn't drain. It got a luxury hotel and room service under his watch. Kimmel hammers home the absurdity of watching a man who campaigned against elites spend his time golfing with them. Every time he declared himself a champion of the working class, another billionaire found themselves in his cabinet. It's the kind of bait and switch that would make a used car dealer blush, but Trump does it with a grin and expects a standing ovation.
Interrupt the president. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Who puts the network in jeopardy? You hear that? There's the threat again. This time straight from FCC Biscuit's mouth. He goes, he says, I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Only Donald Trump would try to prove he wasn't threatening ABC by threatening ABC.
Of course, there's the constant obsession with image. Trump measures success not in policies, not in results, but in applause volume. Kimmel tears into his obsession with crowd sizes, pointing out that only someone deeply insecure about popularity would turn a national tragedy into a math debate. Noah laughs at the idea that the leader of the free world spends his nights angrily tallying likes on social media like a teenager grounded from prom. For a man desperate to be remembered as historic, his legacy reads more like the diary of someone addicted to validation. And what about the scandals? Trump's presidency is a carousel of controversies, spinning so fast that the public barely has time to process one before the next arrives. They call that a setup and punchline. But in the Oval Office, it's called Tuesday.
He's releasing the Earhart file. At least he made it to the E's in the files. That's progress. Tomorrow we release the Ebert files. We will finally get to the bottom of what happened to Siskel. Meanwhile, Vice President Maybelline was making the rounds, attempting to defend his boss and the chairman of the FCC with a new fairy tale even a 5-year-old wouldn't believe.
Celebrities are rallying to his cause, saying this is a First Amendment assault being carried out by the FCC, Brendan Carr, and by the President of the United States himself. And to that, you say?
Well, there are two things. First of all, I'd like them to tell me exactly what Brendan Carr did to have Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air, because number one, he is currently on the air, and to the extent that he isn't in certain stations, it's because he's not funny and because his ratings aren't.
Even his speeches are comedic fodder. Noah rips into his rambling delivery, comparing it to someone reading a bedtime story while constantly forgetting who the main character is. Noah piles on, pointing out that Trump's public addresses resemble badly translated instruction manuals. Long, confusing, and absolutely useless. For late-night comedians, it's a treasure trove. For the country, it's a headache. The difference is that comedians get paid to laugh, while citizens pay the price of enduring it. Healthcare? Another comedic sketch. Trump's attempt to repeal and replace turned into a masterclass in doing neither. Kimmel calls it the political equivalent of promising a cake and then serving an empty plate with sprinkles. It's slapstick performed on the stage of national well-being.
Gets guys out this moment. You know Trump, only Donald Trump, the president of the United States, the man who claims to know where technology, economies, markets, all of it is going. He gets in the car, he looks at the instrument panel and exclaims like somebody who has discovered a new world. He's like, wow, it's all computer.
So he's never been in a Tesla.
But he doesn't say it's all digital.
No, it's all computer, like your grandma.
It's all computer.
Yeah, they put computer in car.
Then comes his infamous loyalty tests. Trump doesn't want advisors, he wants cheerleaders. Kimmel laughs at the revolving door of firings and resignations, calling it the world's worst episode of The Apprentice brought to life. Noah takes the jab further, pointing out that anyone who dared tell the truth was shown the exit faster than a heckler at a comedy club. Surrounding himself with yes men doesn't make him strong. It makes him delusional. And every time one of those loyalists gets burned, the comedians sharpen their pens and remind the world the only thing Trump truly hires is ridicule. Environmental policy, another disaster. Trump pulls America out of agreements like a kid storming out of games he can't win. More than progress, more than truth. Kimmel skewers the contradiction of a man who insists on greatness while tripping over the basics of governance. Noah nails the irony. The more Trump insists he's a legend, the more history laughs at the absurdity. Great leaders inspire nations. Trump inspires punchlines. Great leaders build legacies. Trump builds comedy sets. The difference is written in every headline and immortalized in every late-night roast.
I just have to feel sorry for the people who work for him, who try to clean up the messes. They've been bending over backwards to say, oh, he never threatened. J.D. Vance today made the claim that what the FCC chairman said was a joke, which, I don't know, maybe that was a joke? I don't know. They go to all these lengths to say, oh, it wasn't coercion. The president was just musing. And then the second Trump is alone, he sits on the toilet, he gets his grubby little thumbs on his phone, and he immediately blows their excuse.
Even his use of social media refuses to escape ridicule. Kimmel says it's the world's worst diary, where secrets are shouted instead of hidden. Kimmel highlights the absurdity of a sitting president treating the digital town square as his personal therapy session. Instead of policy updates, America gets emotional outbursts and unfiltered chaos. For Kimmel and Noah, it's free content. For everyone else, it's proof that the country is being run by a man who thinks governance is just another post away from perfection. The economy is no safe haven for Trump either. He loves to paint it as his masterpiece, but comedians tear the canvas apart. Kimmel jokes that calling Trump the architect of economic success is like giving credit to the rooster for the sunrise. Noah digs deeper, pointing out how his supposed victories were inherited momentum dressed up as personal brilliance. Trump's refusal to acknowledge reality became its own punchline, with Kimmel mocking him as the guy who thinks ignoring the fire alarm will stop the building from burning.
Spent some time bragging about his $200 million ballroom again. He said it's going to be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. Oh, how exhilarating for all of us. He's so excited for these balls, he can taste them. Trump claims he's going to pay for some of the cost of the ballroom as a gift to us, which, thank you very much. We'll never be in it, but thank you very much. And he's already figured out where to get the money. Trump today became the first president to sue the New York Times. He's suing the New York Times for $15 billion for defamation. $15 billion. Where does he even come up? These are like numbers my children make up when they're talking about.
Noah leaned into the irony, pointing out that a global emergency became another stage for self-promotion. Instead of calm leadership, citizens got a bizarre display of denial dressed as optimism, with catastrophic consequences that comedians could only underline with bitter laughter. The absence of a coherent plan transformed daily briefings into tragicomic episodes. Trump strutted across the stage with the energy of a man auditioning for a role he wrote himself, except the script never existed. Kimmel compared the spectacle to improv theater performed by someone who doesn't understand the rules, and Noah added that the improvisation didn't just fail, it endangered lives. What should have been moments of clarity turned into surreal monologues where facts were trampled beneath ego, the crisis demanded solutions, but what the country received was spectacle. And the only people applauding were comedians cashing in on the sheer volume of material. Reality became so outrageous that satire had trouble keeping up.
One glimmer of hope that I get from Donald Trump is that he also doesn't know what he's doing. He's in it with us, which is a nice change. Oftentimes we're at the mercy of those in power, but he's in the mercy with us. Like we're all locked in a prison cell, but he's holding the key and he's like, we're all trapped. What are we gonna do? We're like, use the key. What? What are you talking about? And the reason I say this is because Trump came out and he hosted a press conference about dropping the bombs. And he was shocked in the press conference. He came out and he's like, the United States military, that's us, launched missiles, bunker busters on Iran, on all their nuclear facilities. And boy, you don't understand. Never seen bombs like that before. And I called. I'm the one who called. I said, drop the bombs. I didn't know I was going to call. And then I was on the plane. Then I said, I'm calling. Drop the bombs. And the bombs were...
Beyond the daily fiascos, the long-term damage cemented Trump's role as a cautionary tale rather than a leader. Kimmel joked that he turned the White House into the world's most expensive open mic night where the punchlines cost lives. Noah sharpened the point by noting that the man who claimed to be indispensable proved to be completely unprepared. The legacy left behind isn't a testament to resilience, but a reminder of chaos. In trying to write his own heroic chapter, Trump ended up composing a farce. And while the crisis unfolded, Trump's obsession with appearances only deepened the comedy. Kimmel roasted his constant need for applause, reminding audiences that no leader obsessed with television ratings should be trusted with managing a disaster. Even the recovery plans became comedy sketches. Promises of miraculous turnarounds were delivered with the bravado of a salesman pitching snake oil.
Well, Trump announced the suit this morning. He wrote, "Today I have the great honor of bringing a $15 billion defamation and libel lawsuit against the New York Times, one of the worst and most degenerate newspapers in the history of our country. The Times has engaged in a decades-long method of lying about your favorite president, me, my family business, the America First movement, MAGA, and our nation as a whole. The New York Times has been allowed to freely lie, smear, and defame me for far too long, and that stops now."
Kimmel emphasized how every grand announcement collapsed under the weight of reality, while Noah painted the scene as a slapstick routine where the main character slips on his own banana peel over and over again. What was meant to project strength revealed only fragility, and what was intended to secure legacy guaranteed mockery. The comedians didn't have to exaggerate because Trump exaggerated for them. Kimmel pointed out that his speeches required no punchline, just a replay button. Noah went further, saying that the spectacle itself was proof of a man consumed by image rather than substance. This wasn't satire embellishing reality. This was reality running circles around satire, offering itself up on a platter for late-night dismantling. Trump thought he was directing the show, but he was the show, and every scene played like a parody. And when the curtain finally drops, no one will be applauding. They'll still be chuckling at the absurdity that wrote itself.